Hey guys, it's Madison, and today I am on a mission of sorts. So, the way I've been studying Japanese recently is through a free online textbook called Irodori, which is provided basically by the Japanese government, and it seems to be targeted towards people who are living in Japan, but it's also useful for people who are not, like me, who are just learning Japanese for fun. And also, I've been wanting to get back into the Satori Reader app, which is basically a app designed where you can read a bunch of different content in Japanese. They have some content more towards beginners and some more towards the upper levels of learners, but what's so great about it is the fact that you can basically tap on any word and get the instant definition and pronunciation and all that great stuff. So yeah, when I've used it in the past, it's been really nice, but the unfortunate thing about it is that basically, unless you have premium, there's very, very, very limited things that you can actually use it for, very limited content that you can access. But the nice thing about Satori Reader is that several times a year they have these sales where they will offer 3 months of a discounted rate for their monthly subscription. It's typically a little over $8, I think, and it goes down to about $5 per month. And over the past month or two, I've been wanting to get back into some more Japanese reading, but I've been waiting for the next sale period, and finally that time has arrived. The only thing is, I was kind of hoping to finish studying through the free Irodori textbook first, so that I could make the most of the free resource that I already had before diving all the way into the paid resource while I was actually paying for it during that 3-month period, just as a way to kind of maximize my resources, I guess. I'm not sure that makes sense to you guys at home, but in my mind, I really wanted to do all of the free Irodori textbook and then dive into the paid 3-month period so that I could devote a majority of my time to that resource while I was paying for it. Hopefully that makes sense. But unfortunately, I've been not so great at studying Japanese at all for basically the past 30 days. And so I am not anywhere close to finishing the Irodori textbook, and the sale period for Satori Reader ends tomorrow. So what I was originally hoping to do today was to go through all of the Irodori chapters that I have not studied yet. I've gone through 5, and I thought there were 10 or 12 lessons, so I was thinking, okay, I think that's doable to kind of power through in one day, 7 lessons. In the past, it's taken me half an hour-ish to get through a lesson, and so I thought, okay, 5 to 7 lessons is probably doable in one day. But then I was looking at the textbook just a few minutes ago, and I realized there's actually 18 lessons. And so there is absolutely no way that I can go through, 13 more lessons in one day and actually give them my attention and adequately study them. So my original plans have kind of been dashed against the rocks, but I'm still hoping to kind of do a pretty in-depth studying day with Irodori. Even though I can't make it all the way through the textbook, I want to make it as far as I possibly can. Hopefully make it through around lesson 12-ish anyway, like I had originally hoped to. We'll see if I can get that far. And then that way, at least I am still, going into this discounted Satori Reader 3-month period with, that extra little boost of Japanese practice. So that's my new updated plan. I'm kind of bummed that I won't be able to get all the way through this book today, but yeah, it's just not going to happen. So updated, more realistic expectations. The goal is now to just do as much as I possibly can today without totally burning out myself mentally, and then purchasing the 3-month discounted membership. So it's been a couple hours since I last chatted with you. I spent a little over an hour going through lessons 6 and 7 of Irodori and came to a few realizations as I was doing so. Number one, I've definitely gotten rusty as heck in Japanese since it's been so infrequent over the last several months, to be totally honest, but especially in the last 40-ish days of not touching it at all. So that was the first observation. And then the second realization I came to is that my whole plan of going through Irodori as much as possible before starting Satori Reader doesn't actually make sense. So I'm kind of aborting the whole mission now. And that's because as I was going through the chapters, I was doing what I typically do and just kind of focusing on the things that I thought were personally helpful to me and kind of skipping over activities that were less so. And like I mentioned before, this textbook seems to be specifically designed for people living in Japan. And like I also said before, it's still definitely useful in a lot of ways for people like me who don't live in Japan. But that also means that there's lots of exercises that are a lot more useful and practical if you actually live in the country. For example, I just went through a chapter that had a large section focusing on like notices about events or what to do in certain situations, like in case of a fire or earthquake or that kind of stuff. And then I had a lot of listening exercises about like being in a train station and identifying things on your ticket, like which platform are you, which seat are you, which number car are you, directions to stations, like if you hear notices about if your train is delayed or if it's been canceled or if there's been an accident, like all these things which have some useful parts within them, like certain grammar points or general language about things being late or canceled, that kind of stuff. But a lot of it was just so specific, and I found myself kind of just going through it kind of half-heartedly and just like doing the basics of the exercises, but not really caring to look up things I didn't understand that much because it doesn't apply to me. I'm not going to be on a train in Japan in the near future, likely. And if I do end up planning a trip to Japan, I know I can go back and review that chapter and brush up on those specific things that are more useful for living there before I go. And so anyway, that was a very long rant about the not so practical nature of some of the content of this book. And because of that, I kind of realized that while yes, Irodori also would help me, increase my Japanese abilities, it's not like that would prepare me at all for reading stuff on Satori Reader, because those are a lot of stories and things that I imagine won't involve a lot of checking your train ticket and hearing notices at train stations, that kind of stuff. And so I don't think a lot of the practical life advice kind of content on the Irodori textbook would necessarily directly help me in the stories I would be reading on Satori Reader. So I decided that instead of half-heartedly continuing with the Irodori textbook, because I can do that kind of stuff in kind of small chunks in my daily life to kind of, practice my Japanese and stuff, but it's kind of dull. The more you do of things that don't feel super practical, it's like, why am I doing this? Why am I pushing so hard to go through all these lessons if it's not even that useful to me? There's no good reason. So I decided to totally cancel that. So yeah, that's the new plan. I'm gonna go ahead and just purchase the discounted 3 months now of Satori Reader, and I'm changing my mission for the day. Instead of doing kind of a cram session of Irodori, I'm going to just go ahead, get Satori Reader, and start reading stuff on there instead. So I'm still going to have a Japanese focused day, but instead of purely Irodori, I'm gonna go ahead and just switch over already to Satori Reader. And anyways, I've been waiting to have this again for quite a while, so I'm much more excited to actually dig back into Satori Reader and read some interesting stories in Japanese than I am to go back to Irodori. Yeah, anyway, enough rambling about why I'm not doing Irodori anymore. I'm gonna go ahead, buy this, and do some reading. Oh, Satori Reader, I missed you. What to read, what to read. Alright, so I just finished a little over an hour of reading on Satori Reader. I chose one of the easier stories called The Jam Maker, and I read the first 6 episodes over that hour. So yeah, it's not even that each episode is that long, honestly. It's just that's how slow I am right now with my Japanese reading. I've definitely lost a ton of vocab and grammar and just familiarity with reading Japanese over the last year since I've last consistently studied. The little bits here and there earlier this year that I studied have not super duper helped me regain my Japanese knowledge, so I definitely lost a lot over the past 12 months or so since I've last consistently studied. So hopefully by using this 3-month little period of time, I can really get back in the groove with Japanese and kind of regain all the stuff I had lost and really make make the most of this paid subscription time. Even throughout this past hour, I could feel myself getting, incrementally better as I read each episode and started recalling words here and there that I used to know. So I could even tell improvement over that one little hour period of time. Hopefully that continues into the future. And yeah, I definitely have missed using Satori Reader. The graphics are just so amazing. It's a great app, so I'm happy to have it be on sale and available to me once again. And full transparency, I did a really impulsive thing today, not related to Japanese, but related to Chinese. As you guys have definitely seen if you follow my channel for a while, my favorite Mandarin Chinese app is called Do Chinese. It's a reading app, very similar actually to Satori Reader, not quite as pretty graphically, but just as amazing in terms of usefulness and practicality, and even nicer, I'd say, because it has a lot more free content that they release and allow free subscriptions to also have access to for a limited period of time. So I'm able to continually get new content, just not very frequently, using my free membership. But I've actually been considering getting buying a subscription for Do Chinese for a while, because I have been so consistently wanting to use it and wishing I had access to more content. The only thing is, it is so expensive. It costs like $15.99 per month, which is just, I don't know. I generally try to study for free as much as possible. And so even spending like $5 a month on the Satori Reader app, it for me feels like it's sacrificing my desire to study totally for free. And so $15.99 is definitely like, man, am I gonna even use it enough to make that $16 worth it for me? But I tried opening it up on my iPad for the first time. Typically I use my phone. And I think because it's my first time accessing the app on this device, it gave me this deal to purchase a year's worth of premium membership for 50% off the typical price. And the typical yearly price is $120. And so it'd be $59.99 for a whole year, which is $5 a month, even cheaper than the deal for Satori Reader. And so, yeah, I think I'm going to buy this because I was already considering paying $16 just for 1 month. This is not even 4 times that for a whole year. So I think I'm gonna buy that too. I'm just going crazy today and spending money on language learning apps, but I use Do Chinese so much, and they have such good content. And honestly, I've started a few series on there with my free membership about like the 3 Kingdoms era of China. And I'm like dying to finish the stories, but I only have access to the first like 2 or 3 episodes of each like series installment. So I can't finish the story. And I've actually been dying to buy a month subscription and like finish all of those stories that I really want to know the endings to. So this could just be my day of buying a bunch of stuff for my language learning habits, because like this offer is only available for 24 hours. And so it's kind of giving me that time pressure as well, but I'm really excited about it. I think like if I continue to use Do Chinese at the same rate that I'm using it currently, it is definitely worth $5 a month. And especially with having all that access to extra content. Yeah, I think I'm gonna do it. This is so unlike me. I'm so frugal and hesitant to spend any money. But today, 2 subscriptions in 1 day? Wow, what a crazy day. But yeah, anyway, after I buy this, I'm probably going to be done with my vlog for the day. Yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this vlog. It was a little bit chaotic. Totally changed my primary goal. Impulsively bought $60 worth of a year-long subscription. I don't even know who I am anymore. So yeah, hopefully you guys enjoyed watching this chaotic, crazy mess, and I will see you guys in the next video after this ending bit of B-roll. So yeah, until next time, 안녕.
病的人特别多，那些过得特别不好的人处，光和。